Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the African violets that I'm raising and a couple little things about living the country life and how you, even if you live in an apartment, can live the country life. Um, I guess I'll start out there and then I'm going to get into my African violets. Basically, one of the things, because of my background being in the city, so to speak, not really the city, the suburbs, and moving to the country, there's a lot of things you can do. And basically, we're not really on a farm. We live on a busy highway, but we live in a farming community and we do raise chickens and all that. But you can do almost everything that we do if you want to learn how to crochet, how to cook, how to raise some indoor plants, the bucket system. Most places will let you do the bucket system, the quail. A lot of times, because of the nature of the quail not being a big bird, you could raise quail if you want to eat them, or even just the button quail for pets. And you can have a mini Rex in your house and guinea pigs. So just something I want to toss in there in case that was something, if you are enjoying the lifestyle and not just watching our lifestyle, if you want to kind of do some of that, you can get some African violets, like what I'm doing, and I'll get into the African violets now, is I'm going to raise African violets. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to get into other plants. I probably will, but I never know. I mean, it all depends on how things go. But first of all, these are the flowering African violets that I have so far. I want to get as many as I can. There are thousands of varieties, I understand. And I've actually had them before. I've had African violets before, so I'm not new to these. I've had them, my mom had them when we were kids, and I grew some on and off through my life, but now this is going to become like an official project for me. So, um, these are the flowering ones. I have one more that is not flowering because it was, and I pulled off all the flowers from the stem, which I probably should have just popped the flower off, and so that's going to, gain some strength. But that one actually was exactly like this one, so I had two the same. Now, if you plan on ever showing your African violets, which I don't plan on showing them, but you do need to have 3 crowns of flowers to be entered into a show, from what I understand. Okay, now getting on to the African violets. They don't like full sun. It will burn the leaves up and fast. This morning it's kind of cloudy. It's early in the morning, and I did decide to put them in my front window for a little bit. You don't have to do all this. I just decided to do that because they're new to me and I haven't quite found the perfect places in the house. I kind of know where they'll do good, but I thought to myself, I thought, let's give them some extra sun this morning. But I'll tell you what I have found that they really enjoy. Now, I live in the Northeast, so this isn't going to work for everyone. I put them in like the other side of the room, away from the sun, but they get, like, I open the window in the morning and then they get the sunlight from the window, but they're on the other side of the room. It's like they get strong sun, but they're not sitting right in the windowsill. I put them in the windowsill before and it just burned up the leaves fast. And the other spot that I found that they do wonderful in the summer is on our back deck, but it is covered. You can't get African leaves wet because they will just, it kind of kills the plant. It just, they can't get wet. So what you do is you water them from beneath, or what I do is I take the whole plant into the bathroom and pull up the leaves and water the, from underneath, and it works nicely for me. So I want to cross pollinate and do different things. These are just a few of the flowers. I'm not sure if I can get names for all the flowers for you, because I guess there's so many varieties and so many leaves, and like some are variegated and colored and different things. Now these are going to be my mother plants, and well, this is like my starting phase. So I encourage you that if you don't have African violets, to go to the garden center. They're only like $3 to $4 for a small plant, and you don't need to have them big because they'll grow later. But get some African violets and grow some right with me and chat with me about your violets. But I decided to propagate them right away. So as soon as I got them, I snapped off a few leaves off each plant, and then I started to propagate new ones. The purpose being is, say this plant dies for some reason, I will have a replacement. Plus, I can start cross-pollinating and stuff with the one plant, and then I have, like I said, like my mother plants that are going to, I'm going to try to cultivate them and make things look nice and see if I can, pull leaves and things to start new plants. And of course, if one plant starts looking really nice, I may leave it alone and not pull from that one. So that's kind of where I'm going with the African violets. Now, I did put some leaves in water. They all seem to die. So I might try that again, but I didn't have that many leaves to start with. So some of the first leaves I had didn't go. So this time around, I just stuck them right in the dirt. Clay said his mom always just stuck them right in the dirt. So I have a bunch of leaves in dirt, and it's going to take a little bit to get them started, but I figured let's see what happens. I've never grown an African violet from a leaf before, so let's see if we can get some. So this is my African violet project, and it's kind of neat because I'm also remodeling my house. I sold furniture for a while, and while I was there, it's just my nature. I also went to school for interior design on my own just because I wanted to, be a better sales rep. And I also studied all the books. I worked for Lazy Boy. I studied all the books from Lazy Boy as well. And I was a really good top seller for them. So I studied all their books because they had classes that the owner paid for classes and stuff. So they had like a bunch of books there that I did. So I guess I got into that to say I want to decorate my house with African violets, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have like all African violets throughout my house? And they're going to go with the themes and things that I've decided to do for my house. So I thought that would be kind of a neat thing. But you guys will see all that as it goes along, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about interior design and and share some tips to help you. Just really easy tips. Example, I'll just throw one out there. Easiest way to decorate your house is 3 colors, exact same shade, spruce all through the room. Doesn't matter if you go to the dollar store or whatever, as long as they're the exact same shade, and pretty much your room look nice. That's just a little easy tip, but it's art, so it's all in the interpretation of what you love. There's always, you don't have to have your homes look like better homes and gardens. It's a pretty look, but I'm kind of bored with that look. I've had that look before in houses. I lived in a little house and then moved into a big, beautiful home, and like a lot of people said, I love your new house, Ruthie, but the way you decorated your other house, they said that when I first moved in there, because, I had a regular ranch house, and I had that house just so beautiful because I knew how to decorate. And so it's really not about what your house looks like. It's all about putting it together. And me, myself, more than a house, I like the people in the house and how they act. I'd rather go to someone's house that was messy and happy and joyful than someone's house that was perfect and they weren't happy and nice. So to me, that's just the outward. I look for the people in the house, but it's nice to have nice things in order too, as for your own self. So I decorate for me. I make things nice for me. And of course I like it to be nice for other people, but if you're the one that lives there. So anyway, these are my African violets, and that's one of the goals. And you'll see, we'll see that as it progresses. Those that are with us, I want to encourage you to continue with us and watch all of our videos. I think you're going to learn a lot as you see things go on because we're old. we've lived a while, so we have things that we can share. And of course, we want to learn from you because, you guys know things we don't know, and so I'm hoping that, together we all learn from each other. So if you're raising African violets, things about African violets, please help me out. I'm I know some, but there are probably many of you that know a lot more than I do. So, like I said, my family's been raising them for years on and off. My grandparents were really into it, and my mother was for a while. And they get old. My grandparents passed on, and my mom doesn't do it anymore. Okay, now the leaf cutting, like I said, I have probably about 25 of these going. So we'll see what happens with these. And like I said, who knows what can happen in the future? Maybe there's some plant exchanging. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure how that's what's going to go about, but I'm always willing, if I have extra of anything, to pass on. So because that's what we're all about, is to help other people learn to grow. But I got to get some things started and growing first. We want to help you to be successful in what you're doing. So anyway, this is my video for the day on my African violets. I hope you enjoyed these. And we'll see you in our next video. God bless.